Good morning, everyone. This is the 5th year for Pittsburgh Cures Sarcoma as an independent 501c3 and the 14th year for Pittsburgh Cures Sarcoma's Race to Cure Sarcoma. I'd like to thank you all for coming out despite the heat. It's good to see you, and we hope you have a good time today. I'd like to introduce Lora O'Brien, who's sharing the stage with me this morning.
Hello, everyone. Hello. There you go. I'm a teacher. I have to ask a couple of times. Thanks so much for being here. We are going to kick things off with the national anthem.
Dr. Weiss.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I will be as succinct as I can be. Dr. Goodman wanted me to talk about the MOTOR, which is the Musculoskeletal Oncology Tumor Registry and Tissue Bank, which is a terrible acronym, but a great descriptor because the MOTOR is exactly what it is. It drives so much of the research that gets done by us and our colleagues all across the country. This tool enables us to get fresh sarcoma tissue and matching patient blood right out of the operating room and go into storage where it can be subsequently used as the reagents in basic science experiments. That sounds easy and straightforward. Let me tell you, it is not. What else it is not is cheap. But after making lots and lots of mistakes, right, Dr. Goodman, we finally got it humming pretty good, and we're at about 14,000 unique clinical specimens in the tumor registry and tissue bank, which makes us one of the largest sarcoma repositories on the continent of North America. So that's pretty great. That's the first thing I wanted you to know, is that we're big. The second thing you need to know is that the MOTOR is not supported by my department or Dr. Burgess's department or Dr. Ercolano's department or anybody's department. It's not supported by the Hillman. It's not supported by the AHN Cancer Network. It is supported by you. This is completely supported by Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma and your sweat equity that allows us to keep this thing going. It is expensive and it's hard to do it right, but thanks to you, we are doing it right. And I couldn't be more grateful on behalf of myself and all the other investigators that benefit from this amazing resource. We're building quite a list of out-of-state and national collaborators, and that list is growing all the time, and it's thanks to everything that you're doing today. So from the bottom of my heart, with all the love in my heart, thank you for enabling us to build this terrific engine of sarcoma research. Goody?
All right, it's all because of support from folks like you that a little crazy idea that Kurt and I had so many years ago has turned out to be this Center for Sarcoma Research. I thank you for the support, and I thank Dr. Weiss for all of his hard work. Just historically, I would take tumor samples on Saturday morning and leave them in the refrigerator, and this poor guy would have to come in either Saturday afternoon or Sunday to pick up the specimens in the day when we didn't have the backup and plant them and make sure that they were ready to go. So he's done a lot of work for what was a very sort of crazy idea when we started. I'd like to introduce Casey Kilroy. Casey has been the motivating factor in getting corporate sponsors for this event. And she has done a remarkable job as we have gone from a small amount to a large amount, and I will let Casey tell you and take credit for it.
Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Thank you so much for coming out and joining us on this really warm but beautiful Pittsburgh day. I'm Casey Kilroy, and I am in charge of coordinating the corporate sponsorships for the event today. And I just wanted to take a moment and call out a lot of those people. Some of them are here today. When you hear these companies, if you're connected to these companies, if you work for these companies, please take a moment to thank them for supporting us and supporting, most importantly, the very important work of sarcoma research. We have so many gold sponsors. You will see our gold sponsors listed throughout the race course. They have a sign along the way. We have Carey Limousine, Carey Transportation of Pittsburgh, Capital Asset Protection, Decifera. John is here today from Decifera. He has a white tent over there. Please go say hello to him and thank him for being here. Petromax, Tri-State Trailer Sales, Hanger Orthotics, they are here at the finish line. Please say hello to them. They're helping us pass out some water today. Zimmer Biomet, Apex Surgical, Pittsburgh City Paper, one of our media sponsors, First National Bank, Sargent Electric Company, Pitt, Ohio, Forvis Mazars, and some of our platinum sponsors. Platinum is $5,000. We have the Laborers Union 1058, Laborers 158, the UPMC Hillman Cancer Center, Texas Roadhouse. I'd like to call your attention to them because they are to my right. Texas Roadhouse has a free barbecue that they set for us every year, so please make sure that you say hello and thank you to Texas Roadhouse. Also, while we're talking about food, could not forget Western Edge Seafood in the orange truck to my left. Please make sure you go say hello to our friends at Western Edge Seafood. They have some yummy food for you today. And Vistra, Beaver Valley, their nuclear power plant. Our Emerald sponsors, we have AHN, Allegheny Health Network. They are also here today in a white tent. Please go visit with them and say hello. And our very top sponsors, we have the West Virginia University Cancer Institute and our title sponsor, the UPMC Health Plan. So thank you so much to our amazing corporate sponsors. And just for your information, this year our corporate sponsorships are just under $100,000. So thank you so much for that. And just to let you know, let's say 2 years ago we were at $48,000. So we are just so very grateful to our corporate sponsors. All right, well, I'm going to send it back over to Dar.
Hi, I'm Dar Wisniewski. I'm one of the organizers here. Okay, so I have the pleasure of reporting how the teams did this year. And they did amazing. Every one of you, if you're on a team, if you have a team captain, give yourselves a round of applause. This has been a breakthrough, phenomenal year for Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma. So coming in 10th, we have Team Checkits. Where's the Checkits? Who have 22 donations, $6,475. Coming in 9, we have Macaulay. Art Macaulay, 12 donations for $6,475. Number 8, joining us on Livestream. Hi, Joe. We have Bloomers Believers, and they raised $11,650. Road to Rachel, Hal Geist, raised with 111 donations, $14,512. LL Cool J's Stomping on Sarcoma. This is a new team for us. Lauren's here, wherever Lauren is. Shout out to you. 194 donations for $15,315. TKD Ameris, 63 donations for $16,471. TKD Ameris wins for the largest team this year. They are here with 146 participants. Next, we have number 4, Mara Strong, $16,745. Number 3, Never Mind the Bollocks, Let's Cure Sarcoma, came in at $21,768. Number 2, we have Team Danielle, who 10 donations, they came in at $35,400. And the winner this year for the biggest team is Dan and Deb's Disease Destroyers. Dan Alo is joining us from his home. Hi, Dan, we love you. We're all behind you. You're a warrior, kick butt. $40,740 Dan Alo raised for sarcoma research in the Pittsburgh area and beyond. Congratulations to our teams. We love you all. We love your team captains. Have a good day.
I have a message from Dr. Weiss. As I've watched him get older, he's gotten a little more forgetful. There is a tent down at the far end of the event that has information about what PSaRC, the Pittsburgh Sarcoma Collaborative, is doing in terms of research. So if you have time, stop by. It'll let you know where some of your money has been spent and how useful it has been. Having said that, it is time to get ready for the race. Lora, you're on.
All right, everyone, this is the moment you've been waiting for. I have the pleasure of introducing our celebrity starter to kick things off today and get this race started. He is David Bednar. He is a closer pitcher for our very own Pittsburgh Pirates. He's a two-time All-Star, and he has a very special friend also. The Parrot is here also to help kick things off. So, David.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Usually I'm used to closing games, not starting races, but I'll give it a go today. Thank you guys for all coming out. This is such an amazing cause. Thank you, Dar, and everybody. You guys are absolutely crushing it, just blowing past in years past, and it's the amount of support here is so special. And let's have an awesome day, awesome race, and keep supporting Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh cures sarcoma.
Thank you, David. Just a reminder to everyone, good morning to all of you who are watching us online. Welcome to the virtual Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma race. Again, I'm Mark Goodman, and I'm here to tell you a story of a charity that is old, but really only 5 years old. Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma started under the auspices of Sarcoma Foundation of America, but in 2019, having established ourselves as a funding organization, we became an independent 501c3. We took over control of the race and immediately wound up in the midst of COVID. We had a race planned here in the park, and the park closed. So with a lot of ingenuity, a lot of scrambling, we put together a race from the Hillman Lemieux Garden that was a virtual race with involvement of people from home on the live feed. Ever since then, we have followed the rules that were given to us by other organizations. Once online, always online. So we're glad to have those of you who couldn't make it out to the park joining us this morning. As an independent 501c3, we've held to a policy of absolute transparency. The money that comes in, since this is an all-volunteer organization, goes out. Approximately 94% of the money that you donate goes to the mission. And we have been very successful in granting grants to folks at Hillman, McGee, Children's, WVU, the Pitt School of Dentistry, just to name a few. Some of these have been repeat grants. But all in all, we have granted about $1 million as an independent 501c3, and with the amount of money raised at this event, we will go well over $1 million. We have supplied Dr. Weiss with $250,000 worth of support from Motor over the past 5 years, and have pledged to continue doing that on a yearly basis. We recognize the importance of Motor, and we recognize the importance of supporting all of the local researchers who have made Pittsburgh a hub of sarcoma research. And at that juncture, I will turn the microphone over to Dr. Melissa Burgess, who will explain how the sober members of PSaRC performed at the International CTOS meeting.
Good morning, everyone. As Mark said, I'm Melissa Burgess, medical oncologist at the Hillman Cancer Center. So I was asked to speak on behalf of all of my colleagues, the other researchers at Hillman, to kind of share with you what kind of research our doctors are doing. Our doctors are able to present their research nationally and even internationally. In fact, more than 10 of us last November went to Dublin, Ireland to present research at the Connective Tissue Oncology Society. Our research spans basic science, translational science, and also clinical trials. I would say that immunotherapy does not produce widespread responses in patients with pediatric and adult patients with sarcoma. Our research team has been looking at different mechanisms, unique mechanisms of immunosuppression and also epigenetic regulation. The idea is to sort of identify potential new targets, new treatment options for our patients. Additionally, our researchers were looking at how to improve or optimize our biopsy and tissue collection so that we can use it for better research, as well as kind of looking at better ways to do our surgical procedures and improve outcomes for our patients. I'm very proud to represent the whole team, and we thank the Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma for helping to fund some of this amazing research. Thank you all for coming out today.
I would now like to reintroduce Lora O'Brien, who has a story to tell about her 43-year journey through the world of sarcoma, a world that nobody ever wanted to be in the first place.
Thanks, Dr. Goodman. So, hi everybody out there in virtual world. Hope you're having a great time there at home. We appreciate that you're walking virtually with us and participating, because that's what it's all about. Like Dr. Goodman said, my story started a long time ago. I like to call this my Troy Polamalu 43-year marker. When I was 15, I noticed a lump in my right calf muscle. Naively, as a 15-year-old who had been running and bike riding, thought I was just developing some nice muscle definition. A series of doctor appointments to my PCP, and then another surgeon who did a myriad of tests and sent it away both locally and to some other hospitals, confirmed what Dr. Good shared with me when I met him in August of 1981. It was rhabdomyosarcoma, and there were two scenarios. I could have a surgery to try to remove that tumor and rebuild the muscle, but the odds that it would probably return were pretty high. So the other choice was to do a right leg amputation above the knee and follow it up with 2 years of chemotherapy. And 43 years later, not bird walking from that path, I've forged the course forward, and 43 years later, I'm here. I had a 35-year teaching career. I travel, and it's been an awesome life. So I'm looking forward to 43 more years ahead. When Dr. Goodman retired, he said that he was going to keep in contact. So he would call me several times a year and just check in, wish me well for the school year. And as I was nearing retirement, he said, when you retire, I'm going to call you. I have an opportunity. So I retired in June, and I'm pretty sure it was July. He called and said, so are you ready? And I said, sure, what are we going to do? And so I got involved with Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma. I am the one that gathers a lot of information from the amazing physicians and researchers that are doing the incredible work that they are able to do with the dollars raised by PCS. And I share all of that information with you through the Your Funds at Work articles. So I hope you're reading them. I hope it motivates you to stay involved. and it's an incredible organization. So if you're out there, or there are people out there on the race course that are thinking about choosing an organization to become involved with, this is the one. So it is a delight to be here, and I'm going to give it back to Dr. Goodman, who started out as my doctor and has grown to be a dear friend. So here you go, Doc.
Thank you, Laura. Hopefully you will be motivated by their individual stories. I know I was. So let's go to the videos.
My name is Lora, and this is my story. My story is one of longevity. I am 41 plus years post-diagnosis. My childhood was normal. I danced, I rode bikes, I played softball, we went on family vacations, we went camping. It was just a typical, awesome childhood. We moved to Bethel Park when I was in 6th grade, and it was the summer after freshman year, so it was 1981, and I just started to notice a pain in my right calf muscle that hadn't really been there before. And one day I was at my aunt's house and I asked her to feel it because I felt something in my leg that was kind of round and hard. And so she felt it and was sort of taken aback, didn't know what it was. She told my parents about it, and we scheduled an appointment with the family doctor. We had a family vacation scheduled coming up, and he said, "Go on the vacation, it's fine." Came back from that vacation and went back to the family doctor, and nothing had really changed. And so I met Dr. Kelly, and Dr. Kelly admitted me to do a biopsy. So I went to Mercy Hospital, and I was in 10 days, and they did the biopsy and then just a myriad of other tests. He had called them into the office and told them that he suspected that it was a malignant tumor in my right calf muscle called rhabdomyosarcoma. Soft muscle tumors are rare to begin with, and then this was a fraction of a percentage of that. And so he sent me home for a week, and I went to see Dr. Goodman on a Thursday. And so he explained that it was a large tumor, about the size of a softball. And so he said there were two options. We could move the tumor and rebuild that muscle, and that it would probably be back by the time I was 16, and I would probably not survive. Or we could do an above-knee amputation, follow it up with a chemotherapy protocol, and my odds were, a lot better. And I said, yeah, I have a lot of things that I want to do. I want to do the surgery. I want to do the amputation. And I walked through the tunnel from Fall Clinic into Presbyterian Hospital, and we had the surgery the next morning. And Dr. Goodman always laughed, and he said, "It was your adolescent angst." He said, "You were just on a mission and on a path." And he said, "I really, I've lost patients who have hesitated." And he said it was full steam ahead. I had the surgery for the amputation, and about 3.5 weeks later, at the end of September, I did my first chemo treatment. I did my full treatment at Presbyterian Hospital. The staff on Unit 12-3 is where my chemo was, and they were incredible. Those people became family, too. Presbyterian was my home away from home for those 2 years.
Lora is somebody who never used the fact that she had lost her leg as an excuse for anything. As a matter of fact, she made a point to make it not an excuse for anything.
I have done what I wanted to do. I went to Pitt. I got my bachelor's degree in elementary ed, went back to school and got a master's degree. I went back to school again, and I got certified as a national board certified teacher. And I went back to school again and got my elementary school certification. I love teaching. I love everything about it. So I taught school for 34 years. I just retired in June, and I thought, I miss doing stuff with school and kids. So I tutor, and I also work at a local learning center. You know, Dr. Goodman said that was just your whole mindset from the beginning. Let's just do this and keep moving forward.
Can't even begin to tell you the number of kids whose lives she's touched. You can't count it.
So I met Lora 17 years ago. I've really gotten to know her pretty well. She's not going to not do things because she only has one leg. She's very determined not to have this ruin her life.
I actually have a journal that one of my middle school teachers gave to me, and she put an inscription in the front, and she just said, you know, everybody has a story to tell, and the best stories to tell are your stories. I wanted to do my best in stuff, so I think it was just a drive inside. You know, this was something that was unexpected. You know, it's part of my story, but it wasn't the biggest part of my story. It was just part of the story. Dr. Goodman is, I call him my hero. There was one time, it was probably 20 years ago, and I said something about coming to see him every year. And he said, you do realize I stopped needing to see you probably 10 years ago. And he said, you're just kind of cool to hang out with. And a few years after that, I asked him at that point, if I came to you today with the same exact scenario that I did back in 1981, would the outcome have been different? And he said, no. When he retired a few years ago, he continued to call me, and he told me about cure sarcoma. And he said, I really would love for you to get involved. So here I am now. I am excited about PCS. I've already met some awesome people, but I've jumped in. So I'm helping with, you know, newsletter articles and things like that. Looking forward to the first race in June to go to. I hope that my story can help PCS in its mission to get people motivated. I want the answer to the question, you know, would it be different today? I want that answer to be yes. It's different today because the research is there. If my story and other people that have gone through it helps turn the last page, then it's all worth it.
My name is Sherri, and my mother was Mary Ann. She was born on the North Side, and she met my father at Danceland. And they married young, had children young, and she had a nursing career. And then my parents also, they liked to go to casinos and enjoyed life. And then my father died, and my mother had such resilience and determination to be able to make it on her own. She was extremely active. She would travel to casinos with her friend Lenore, and they had a great time. She liked to drink Pinot Grigio. She never missed Mass. She was very religious. She was just really enjoying her life. Labor Day weekend, 2022, she was gardening, and she saw what she thought was a spider bite. And she didn't think anything of it, but this spider bite didn't go away. So she went to her PCP. The PCP didn't think anything of it. Then this spider bite started growing about the size of a golf ball, and she just wasn't feeling very well. And she went to Atlantic City with her friend Lenore. I texted Lenore to see if they were having fun. And Lenore said, well, your mother's really sick, so I want to take her to the emergency room out when we fly in. And so I met them there on that Sunday, and my mother looked terrible. The attending physician had called me, and he said, Sherri, I think we should maybe biopsy that thing on your mother's leg. And it was the day that she was being released from the hospital, and I think it was November 16th, 2022. And I got this call at work from the attending physician, and he said, you know, you're not going to believe this, but it is cancer. And I was like, what kind of cancer? And he said, high-grade pleomorphic sarcoma. It's less than 1% of cancers. And usually it's children that get this. And so it was even more unusual and rare that, you know, a woman who's 79 would get this. And then she had the surgery that Monday. Plastic surgeon said she came through it better than any 40-year-old. And I had gotten her a red crystal cane for her. And I said, well, you know, I want to see you walk with the red crystal cane. And she said, I'm going to do it. And then the one day I came to visit, and there she was, walking down the hall with the cane. We were scheduled to meet with the radiologist, and I picked her up. She was crying. She said, I have another one. The test came back, and it was not only another one, but she had 2 at the surgical site. So we started the radiation, and so she did a 20-day course, really, really high dose. Her sister had gotten her a pair of red sequin slippers. She would wear those, and then she had a walker, and everybody would call her Dorothy. She was back at the casino. She was drinking Pinot Grigio. So she was just determined, and she was not accepting a diagnosis of death. And then she started getting tired, losing more weight. She had multiple tumors in her lungs. That was really the beginning of the end. And we went to see a medical oncologist, and he gave her 6 to 12 weeks to live. She said, I had 80 good years, and so that's it. I had the best conversations with her during that time that I've had in my life. She always wanted me to lay in bed with her. I got in one day and I was crying. She said, why are you crying? And because I can't do anything to extend your life. I can't do anything. Then she said, get off my arm, it hurts. So we always tried to make a joke. I treasure that time that I had with her, I really do. And she passed away, and I felt so helpless insofar as I just couldn't do anything for her. But then I thought I can share the story with everybody. You know, everybody needs to be aware. There's just not a lot of research dollars to fund the research in order to kill the monster that is sarcoma. I also created my team for Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma, is I think aptly titled Marianne's Red Sisters. I'm raising funds. I'm also matching, so I challenge anybody who wants to come in with big donation, because I'll match it buck for buck. And so my mother's legacy is going to live on through this organization. I'm going to do everything I can. So, yep, Mom, I can do something.